Today is the perfect time and the perfect time of year to either come back to the piano and play again after years away, or to teach yourself something new that you have never done before. By the end of today's video, I'm going to give you 5 tips so that you will be feeling successful in this endeavor of learning the piano again or for the first time. Also, you're going to be playing a beautiful chord progression with no sheet music in front of you and diving into the world of improvisation. The first and the most important thing that we need to remember as adults is to give ourselves grace. So something that would have been easy for us when we were young, maybe something that you've played 1,000 times before when you were younger, and then you're looking at the sheet music and it's just not happening. So what we're going to do is we're going to put aside that music and we're going to learn how to do something a little bit different. That is to improvise and play by ear. And what I mean by that is to play without sheet music and give yourself a win. So this goes for every single person. This goes for people who used to play really well as a child or a teenager, and then you've had years and years away, which was my story. I went for 20 years basically without touching the piano, and then I came back to it, and it was extremely frustrating and very, very intimidating. And then there's people who've wanted to play the piano their whole lives. They were given a few introductory lessons, maybe for a year or two. They learned how to do some scales, maybe, and that's it. And then when you put music in front of them, it's like they're playing Mary Had a Little Lamb. And we really just don't want to be playing that as an adult. Either one of those cases are very, very intimidating for adults. And we don't want that to be the case anymore. So what we're going to do today is I'm going to give you a win. And that win is that you're going to be playing absolutely beautiful music, even without sheet music in front of you. And you will realize, I've got this. I can do it. So the first thing that we are going to do is to learn about one specific key today, and that is the key of F major. Now, the key of F major is one of my favorites because it only contains one black note. So what we're going to do is we're going to start with the scale in the key of F. And if you're having flashbacks to the time when your teacher made you do scales a million times, or you just had to do it over and over and over again for seemingly no purpose, it's not that. Okay, so what we're going to do today is we're going to talk about the scale for a purpose. And the purpose is it gets your ears and your hands prepared to play. The key of F major is between F and F and contains all white notes except for one, which is this B flat right here. So instead of playing the B, we'll play the B flat. So you can play with the traditional scale fingering, or you can play with one finger. So now we know that in the key of F major, we have our ears set, we have our hands set, and now we're ready to learn this really awesome chord progression. With our 1 chord in the key of F major, and then that is our FAC, and then we're going to go to our 4 chord. That's built on the 4th note of the scale, 1, 2, 3, 4, and that's a B flat chord. So we have B flat, D, and F. Then we're going to go to our 5 chord built on the C, and then we're going to go to our 6th chord built on the D. And then we go back to 4, and then 1. So we're going from F major to B flat major, to C, to D minor, B flat again, and then to F. I really like this chord progression. It has some cinematic moments in it as well. Now we're going to do the same thing with our left hand, and let's just do our root position or our stacked chords. So we have our F major to B flat, to C, D minor, B flat, and then back to F. The third step is we're going to put both of our hands together right away. So let's go ahead and start with our chord progression in root position chord with both hands right away. So we have our F chord, then our B flat, C, D minor, B flat, and then F. Okay, but that doesn't sound so wonderful just doing blocked chords like that. So what we're going to do is we're going to start getting some rhythms involved, and we're going to represent our chords in our left hand. So for right now, I'm going to do a three-pronged way to represent our chords. We're going to start out with an octave, which is F to F and then B flat, all those like that. And then we're going to put our fifth in there for each one. So if we remember how we build a chord in the first place, so if you look at your F major chord, we have a third and then we have a fifth. This is what I mean. So we start on the F and we go 1, 2, 3, and then start on the F and go up 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Put all those together, that's our chord. So this note right here at the top, that's our fifth. The C. So that's where that comes from. So what we're going to do is we're going to represent each of the chords using the octave and the fifth. So we have our F with C in the middle. We have our B flat with F in the middle. C with G in the middle. D with A in the middle. And then we go back to our B flat and then we're to our F again. So that is what our representative chords in the left hand is. So now I'm going to do an arpeggio, which means that I'm going to play each of those notes individually from the bottom to the top for each one. We're going to now refamiliarize yourself, or maybe this is the first time that you have ever done inversions. And inversions are just a fancy word that means you get to play the chords in any order that you want to. So let's look at the F major to start with. You can play the FAC. This is called the root position because it has the third and then the fifth right on top of it. I call those stacked chords. But you could also take that F off the bottom. You could play that at the top. That's called our first inversion, and it sounds different than the root position. So if you look at root position and then first inversion, you can hear how that sounds a little bit different. And then you can do that one more time. So let's take this A off the bottom, place that at the top. And that is our second inversion. So let's listen to all these and listen to how they sound different. And then we would be back to root position just up here. So now we're going to put our arpeggio of our representative chords in the left with the different inversions in our right. So it'll sound like this. And now let's do the same thing for all of them. So for our B flat, then our C, and then our D minor. And so now we have all of those choices for when we play our song together. So now let's just pick some random ones and go really slowly and just pick some different inversions. And let's see how we can create our song already within just a few minutes. And already it sounds very musical and beautiful just by adding the inversions. So now that you have the arpeggios in your left hand, the different inversions in your right, now you can choose any of the different inversions throughout your song, but then you can also use any of the rest of the notes of the F major scale. So if we go back to the beginning, any of those notes are going to sound wonderful in your song. If you hit a B, that will not sound wonderful, but any of them sound wonderful. So all I'm going to do now is I'm going to still do arpeggios in the left hand, but in the right hand, I'm going to add some different notes of the scale in addition to the different inversions. That's all that's happening. Let's see what kind of a song this can create. So already you've created a beautiful song. If you like this chord progression and playing in the key of F major, go ahead and check out this video because this is going to dive deeper into how to make this even sound more musical, have different patterns in the right hand and the left hand. But look at you. You are already playing the piano within just a couple of steps, whether this is your first time or you're coming back to the piano. Now that you understand how to put this together, how to make beautiful music, I want you to set your timer for 10 minutes. Now, sitting at the piano and playing for hours on end sounds great, but it's not going to be good for you in the beginning. What will happen is if you don't set a timer and you just play for hours and hours on end, your hands and your fingers will start to not feel great. And if you're especially feeling tension right here in your hands, that's not going to be wonderful for you. What I want you to remember is that progress happens not through grinding for hours a day, but by consistently showing up. And if you're showing up day after day, and if you're leaving feeling satisfied like you have accomplished just a little bit, you will be progressing in a far better way than if you spend hours and hours. Last step is that I want you to actually hit record on something. This is not to share with anyone. This is simply because I want you to be able to watch your progress. So if you hit record even a couple times a week or once a week, and then at the end of a month, you can go back and look at the progress that you have made. You will understand that you're actually making progress. We have to give ourselves time to improve. It's just like any other skill. And showing up and showing up and showing up for yourself is going to make an amazing difference. But sometimes we as adults are very hard on ourselves. And when we don't hear progress, we feel like nothing has been made. Whereas if you hit record and record yourself and then go back and look at where you were, you can see the progress that you've made in a short amount of time. I'd like to hear in the comments below, what are your goals for playing the piano in this upcoming year? I can't wait to help you along your journey of fulfilling your goals. And if you're not quite sure how to start, go ahead and check out this video.